Reading. The secret to mastering English. Have you ever wished to speak English fluently without hesitation, to understand movies without subtitles, and to express yourself effortlessly? What if I told you that there is a simple, fun, and powerful way to achieve this? That secret weapon is reading. Reading is not just about looking at words on a page. It's a magical journey that allows you to absorb new vocabulary, understand grammar naturally, and learn how native speakers truly communicate. Imagine you're reading a story about a traveler exploring a new country. As you follow their journey, you unconsciously pick up words about places, emotions, and experiences. You don't have to memorize lists of words or struggle with grammar rules. Your brain naturally absorbs the patterns and structures. This is how reading transforms your English learning process into something enjoyable and effortless. Why reading works like magic. One of the greatest benefits of reading is that it helps you internalize English grammar. When you see correct sentence structures repeatedly, you begin to recognize patterns without even thinking about them. You no longer need to stop and analyze every word. The language starts to feel natural. You may not realize it, but as you read, your brain is building a mental library of phrases and expressions that will help you speak fluently. For example, when you read a sentence like, "She decided to go to the park," you're seeing the correct use of decided to in action. Over time, phrases like decided to, thinking about, and looking forward to become second nature to you. When it's time to speak, these phrases come to you automatically, like magic. Expanding your vocabulary. Naturally, reading is also one of the most effective ways to expand your vocabulary. Every time you read, you encounter new words. But here's the key. Instead of memorizing words from a list, you see them in context. This means you not only understand the word, but also learn how it's used in real-life situations. Think of vocabulary as tools in a toolbox. The more tools you have, the more ways you can express yourself. If you read a novel about an explorer, you might come across words like adventure, mystery, expedition, and discover. These words don't just stay in the book. You'll find yourself using them when you talk about your own experiences. Another great trick is keeping a vocabulary journal. Whenever you come across an interesting word, write it down along with the sentence you found it in. Over time, you'll build a personal collection of words and phrases that will make your English richer and more expressive. Thinking in English instead of translating. One major challenge for English learners is translating from their native language. This slows down fluency because you have to process everything twice, once in your native language and then in English. Reading changes this. The more you read, the more you start thinking in English without even realizing it. Imagine reading a story about a boy who loves playing football. You're so immersed in the story that you don't stop to translate words. You simply understand them. Little by little, English becomes a natural part of your thinking process. This is one of the most powerful ways to sound fluent and confident when you speak. Reading improves your listening skills. 2. You might wonder, how does reading help with listening? When you read, you become familiar with common words, phrases, and sentence structures. This means when you hear them in a conversation, your brain recognizes them faster. It's like hearing a song for the first time and not understanding the lyrics. But after listening a few times, you start catching every word. Reading does the same for your ears. It trains them to pick up English more easily. Next time you watch an English movie or listen to a podcast, you'll notice that you recognize more words and phrases. It won't feel like a foreign language anymore. It will feel familiar and comfortable. Building confidence in speaking confidence is one of the biggest barriers to speaking English. Many learners worry about making mistakes or sounding unnatural. But here's the secret. Reading fills your mind with correct English. So when you speak, you naturally use the right words and sentence structures. For example, if you read a book about a chef working in a famous restaurant, you'll remember phrases like prepare a dish, delicious flavors, and perfect recipe. Later, when you talk about food, these words will come to you naturally. Instead of saying, "It was good," you might say, "It was a fantastic culinary experience." That's how reading makes your English sound more natural and impressive. How much should you read? You don't need to read for hours every day to see results. Just 10 to 15 minutes a day can make a huge difference. The key is consistency. Find a time that works best for you, maybe in the morning, during lunch, or before bed. A little reading every day will build a strong habit and improve your English effortlessly. Think of reading as a journey. Every book, article, or story takes you to new places, introduces you to new cultures, and teaches you new ways to express yourself. It's like traveling without a plane ticket. And as you travel through books, you absorb new words, expressions, and ideas that make your English more colorful and vibrant. What should you read? You don't have to start with difficult books. Choose something that interests you. Here are some great options. 1. Stories and novels. Great for immersing yourself in different worlds and expanding your vocabulary. If you're a beginner, start with children's books or simplified novels. 2. Short articles and blogs. If you don't have much time, short articles about hobbies, travel, food, or interesting facts are perfect. 3. Comics and graphic novels. Not just for kids. The pictures help you understand the story, and the dialogue teaches you how real conversations flow. 4. Magazines. Choose a topic you love, whether it's sports, technology, or fashion. Magazines have short, engaging articles that are fun to read. Final thoughts. Reading is your secret weapon. Reading is not just a tool, it's a gateway. It's not a boring task, it's an adventure. Every time you read, you move one step closer to fluency, one sentence closer to confidence, and one book closer to becoming the English speaker you've always wanted to be. Reading helps you with grammar, vocabulary, pronunciation, and fluency, all in a way that feels natural and enjoyable. So, pick up that book, scroll through that article, dive into that story, and let reading take you further than you ever imagined.